Trevor and I have chosen the most dangerous location to demonstrate an injection and describe to you the difference between intravenous, intramuscular, and subcutaneous injections.
Why do we inject some things subcutaneous, some things intramuscular, and some things intravenous? I mean, every time we see on TV, we see people injecting into their vein. You know, they strap that strap around their arm, they find the vein, they shoot something in their vein, and yet we as bodybuilders are shooting into our muscle and under our skin. What's the difference?
Well, for a few reasons, we do it in the muscle because it's a depot, right? And we're doing something that has a certain, it was designed for a certain half-life and a certain breakdown rate in your body. And the whole purpose of it was to be in a depot, in the oil that sits in your body cleaves apart the esters, and the oil is basically your carrier, your delivery method, right? And so when these were invented too, they were invented by who? The pharmaceutical industry. They're clean, so you can put them in the muscle as well. And when you're seeing what you see like in the videos or on the street, around here is they're doing IV for a few reasons. It hits the fastest and it hits the hardest. And if you were to put a bunch of oil, you have a minor pulmonary embolism. If you were to just put a bunch of oil in there, it would feel just like the train cough. Same thing.
So the drugs that people are injecting in their veins are not oil-based?
No, they're all water.
Water-based.
So, you'll see them melt oxy into water, use the bacteriostatic or sterile water, usually sterile water, and then they just heat it, and so they have it in a water solution. That's what they can put it through the IV. If you're putting oil, it's going to pass through your heart, so in your lungs, your whole body, so it feels like a pulmonary embolism, which is kind of a mild one. And it's going to make you break out in a cough, just like train cough. Same thing. And they do it because, one, it hits harder. And the other main reason, you start, let's talk about, that drug we talked about, Nubane. You start subcutaneous because you can put it subcutaneous.
Oh, Nubane's an injection, not a pill?
No, it's an injection.
Oh.
And you start subcutaneous, and then you do IM because it feels better and it hits quicker, but it's also out of your system faster. And then once you start adapting to that, then you go intravenous, and that's when you kind of plunge the dark end. And it's the same with theirs. And if you start doing, what you see people doing oxy, or for the most case it's heroin or the tar heroin, and it's so dirty you don't know where it's been. And same with the cocaine, they'll just melt that down too. And if you put it in the muscle, it's going to decay. It decays. It literally eats it. So if you keep doing the muscle over and over, just like synthol or doing site injections, because the alcohol in it, it will decay the area. It will literally eat the muscle away. You'll see that happen.
Oh, but the difference is with intramuscular injections, we can rotate sites a lot more versus the intravenous. There's only so many veins, so many big enough veins to see. Now, you mentioned the reason why they tie this tourniquet. Is that what you call it?
You create your own tourniquet, yeah.
Yeah, they wrap a tourniquet before they inject drugs. Why?
Because when you do that and you constrict it, just like the Valsalva, you're constricting the area, and the veins trying to pump through to your heart, and since you're restricting the blood somewhere going to the heart, it's trying to pump through that. So you'll start seeing the veins get bigger and bigger and bigger, and because they do it so much, they collapse veins.
So your veins are already so huge. Does that mean you don't need to use a tourniquet? You wouldn't need to use a tourniquet?
No, it's the same kind of IVs too. They do the same thing, drawing your blood. It makes it a lot easier to do it. You could have decent veins, okay veins, and for some people it's still kind of hard. If you're doing it to yourself, it's a little bit different, although it is not an IV. But some people still have a hard time doing it, and they still have that mentality to wrap it. But like I said, most of their veins are collapsed, so they have to find new spots. So I always hear them doing the toes and the webbings of their fingers, wherever they can find.
So there are water-based steroids, like test suspension sometimes is, isn't it? And Winstrol is. Those, are you saying those can be injected into the vein? By the way, this is not medical advice. I mean, Trevor has a little bit of a nursing background, actually, and he comes from a nursing family and chemistry, so he understands all this stuff himself, but we're not advising you about anything. This is for educational entertainment purposes only. And we actually chose this location as the most dangerous location to do this video, because this is a yogurt shop by the church, and everybody's coming here after church, and it's also a war on meth going on right here. So as soon as they see an injection, they call the police. So this could get interesting, because we're going to do a live demonstration. Okay, so why not inject water-based steroids into the vein?
The same exact reason. So you look at that, that's anywhere between 29 and a 31 gauge, and you're putting a water compound in there, right? When you're doing heroin or oxycodone, this stuff literally dissolves in water, and it's like drawing up water. If you've ever ran test suspension, water-based, that's the name for it, there's crystals in it. It's not just a clear water and nothing's in it. There are crystals in there, and they get stuck. So you have to use a bigger needle. No matter what, it has to be a bare minimum 25, and it still gets stuck. And a 23 is probably your best bet, and it can still get clogged. Let's just say you could do it and get it through a 23 with no clogging. You're going to put a 23 intravenously on a drug that needs to be put in your body frequently. That vein will collapse. And if they're collapsing on people with 31 gauges, you can bet it's going to collapse a lot faster on a 23 gauge.
You said the rate of absorption and disbursement of the drug depends on whether it's injected in the vein, muscle, or under the skin. And the vein is instant, you said, right? How much of a time difference is there with a subcutaneous versus in the muscle?
It all depends on the drug. And it depends on what form it's in and what the carrier is. Now, when you talk about oils and gear, steroids and oils, you go from, let's say, NFA 12, 14 days intramuscular, and then you put it subcutaneous and it's up to a month. You can go up to a month.
That's
so
a big difference.
There's no real X amount. It's a lot different. It's the amount of blood supply, how much mineral, zinc, and different things that are present. Look at insulin. You do insulin subcutaneously, and there's no presence of zinc there, so it takes, that's what binds to the insulin in that hexagonal pattern. That's what carries the insulin. There's no zinc present, so it takes a lot longer for that insulin to break down.
Speaking of insulin, both John Romano and Dave Palumbo we did videos with recently, and both of them said they prefer to do insulin subcutaneous because it takes longer, it disperses slower, it hits too fast if done with the muscle. What do you think the time difference is on something like an insulin between subcutaneous and intramuscular?
I've had Humulin R hit me in 5 minutes after an IM shot, and I was fasted. And I've done it sub-Q and had it hit me about an hour fasted as well. So it's so different, like I said, because of the amount of zinc present, in the tissue and how much blood supply is there to get that to it.
All right, so let's give them some terminology. So sub-Q means subcutaneous, that's under the skin. So anytime we pinch and lift the skin up and we're going into the layer of fat or under the space under the skin, that's sub-Q, subcutaneous. Intramuscular means in the muscle. We're not lifting the skin up. We just go right into the muscle. And then intravenous is where you find the vein and we go directly into the vein on the surface. All right, so this is a unknown, undisclosed substance. It's growth hormone, which I have a prescription for. And I'm going to do it, I can't, I don't have anywhere I can do it sub-Q. I'll do it in the muscle right here.
How to do muscle.
All right, I'm just going to do it in the muscle.
And that's one thing I would say, if you're running a Chinese generic also, I don't know, okay, might want to put it away. But if you were running a generic, one of these or anything from somewhere you don't know where exactly it came from, never put it in your body because you didn't get it legally. But two, if let's say it was a Chinese generic and you were seeing those videos of or the research on how the absorption is so much different intravenously because it is 100% absorption when it's intravenous versus I believe it's 93%, 90 to 93% intramuscular, and then down to 70, 80s subcutaneous. And you were to put that intravenously, well, you just skipped every line of defense in your body, and you have no idea where this came from. And if you put in growth in subcutaneously and seen those red welts, it's not because it's 192 amino acid sequence, it's because it's dirty. It is dirty, or there's unreactive reagent material that is in there that is causing that, which can actually cause anaphylactic shock. So you just open and bypass every defense in your body and put it through right into your blood. And if you could go into anaphylactic shock and die as you're doing it, you can cause us infection, a viral bacterial infection that goes systemic through your entire body. And you can die from that as well. And that's really hard treatment in the hospital. So keep that in mind. And like you said, it's just information.
So subcutaneous is safer because if you get an infection under the skin, it's easy to just cut it and drain it.
It's actually a little harder, to be honest. But you would rather have it cut out of there as a bodybuilder than you would cut it out of a muscle and have a piece of your muscle taken out.
And a really bad scar.
Yeah.
So do you think subcutaneous is generally safer for water-based compounds?
No. Yes and no. Because you're bound to get an infection with a water-based steroid. It's going to happen. It will happen one day. If you're getting it from a doctor, that's different. But still, bacteria grows so fast in water, it's almost impossible to grow. And oil. So even if it was from your doctor, you put that needle through the plunger, you just expose it to air, and that air has bacteria no matter what, and it will grow in water even with alcohol. It doesn't kill it; it just keeps it where it's at. But before it's open and the air is exposed to it. So that being said, if you put it into subcutaneous tissue, you're bound to get an infection there or a muscle. For a bodybuilder, it would be better to get it in subcutaneous because if it's going to get cut out, it's just going to be cut out with fat. And the side note is you're injecting crystals. So these crystals are going to sit in your fat tissue, and they're going to sit for a very, very, very long time, and it's going to be super painful in that area for a very long time.
Oh, okay. Not peptides, but the Winstrol.
Yeah, you're talking about water-based steroid.
Right. And then injecting into the vein, more dangerous because you told me not to do that. But why can't I do that, Trevor?
Because the bacteria growth.
It'll hit your whole body so fast and bacteria will spread everywhere.
It'll be systemic.
Your body can't contain it.
It'll be
one area.
Yeah, it'll be systemic. It'll go in your blood. It's going to reach your entire body within a few minutes. And you're going to be in pain in the hospital.
Fine, Mom. I won't inject it in my vein.
Just not with me around.
All right, guys. Be swell and swole, my friends of freedom, pioneers of human evolution.